Hello everybody and welcome back to Be Joy in the Kitchen. I'm Be Joy and this is my kitchen. Well, thanks for joining me today. I got a little backstory here. This past week we were invited up to a friend of ours from the block, has another home up in Yarnell. I'd never been to Yarnell before. The only story I knew about Yarnell was probably about 10 years ago where there was a wildfire up there. And 10 hotshots unfortunately died in that wildfire. So that was my only, the only thing I knew about Yarnell. And it turns out Yarnell is this really small town. So she had invited us up to go to a drumming circle that she'd never been to before. And what they say about Yarnell is the drumming circle is going to be, let's see, gays, grays, and strays. And it probably had just about all of those there. So it was super fun, I have to say. And then the next morning for breakfast, she asked me if I wanted some of what her family calls not so delicious blueberry muffins. And I go, well, why would you eat them if they're not so delicious? And then she gave me one and I said, these are really delicious. And she said the backstory to that was that her sister kind of made them. And along the way, they were not so delicious. And then at the end of the day, she kept experimenting and they turned out to be really delicious. And what was best about those for me is they're both gluten-free and dairy-free. So I thought I'd make them for you guys today. First thing I did while I was waiting for you was I turned my oven on to 350 degrees. And the other thing I did was get out my silicone. I have silicone, she said she uses her silicone muffin cups. I don't have any of those. So I said, but I have these that I usually put my ice cream in. So I'm using these today. And the best about, well, I guess one of the best things about those is there's nothing to do to prepare them except put them on a tray. No oiling and all that, flour, shaking, any of that stuff. So I'm going to use that today. And anyway, we're going to start out with 3 cups of rolled oats. And one of those cups I took, while I was waiting for you, I took a cup of those and put them in my food processor to make it a ground oat flour. Now, I suppose you could buy oat flour at the store, but to me it was just as easy to take my rolled oats. And when you get your rolled oats, be sure to get actual rolled oats, not the quick cooking type. That's going to become like rolled glue after a while. So, if you're going to bake with it. So then I'm going to take 2 more cups of my old-fashioned rolled oats. And again, you know, I've been talking about Bob's a lot lately, but when it comes to this kind of thing, Bob's makes great stuff. I'm going to take those and then I'm going to stir them around a little bit, and into that I'm going to throw a teaspoon, a little bit more than a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you're a big cinnamon people, then I'd go ahead and, I just got those on the ground. Well, I'll pick them up later. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. The other things that are going in here today are 3 cups of chopped nuts. I'm choosing pecans. You might choose something different like walnuts. Her family makes them with walnuts, but I just love pecans. A little bit more pricey, but I think it's all worth it. So I've got 3 cups of chopped pecans going in here. 1, 2, heavy on the nuts here, by the way. And 3. Wow, I'm going to have to go to the store and get more pecans. I'm going to stir those around. I think this is going to make enough for an army. But that's okay. We have a lot of friends on the block, so I'll be walking door to door passing these out for breakfast tomorrow morning, perhaps. So 3 cups of chopped nuts in with my oat flour and my old-fashioned whole rolled oats. And then I'm going to add 1/2 of a very finely chopped apple, diced apple, I guess you could say. And the good thing about this is you don't need to remove the skin. Just put them in with skin and all. And if you'd like more apple, put more apple. If you don't want apple at all, don't put any apple. Yeah, it's not exactly apple season right now, but I happen to have one in my refrigerator, so it's kind of worked out fine. This does look like it's going to make an army. Okay, to that, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 ripe bananas that I mashed up with my potato masher. Good thing you know, and use a bowl that's big enough. You know, don't short yourself on your bowl size because you don't want to be making a mess. And I think I'm going to go ahead and mash this a little bit to get them going. And I kind of wish I had like even a bigger bowl than this, but you know, these are looking good. So far, so good. All right, and to that, we need a little bit more liquid in here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put in our 1/3 of a cup of, I have organic maple syrup here. And 1/3 of a cup is about 5, well, it's not about, it's 5 1/3 tablespoons. Which is yeah, 5 1/3 tablespoons. I measured that out before to make sure I had the right amount. And then I'm also going to put in 1/3 of a cup, which will be your 5 1/3 tablespoons of oil. And she uses avocado oil. Today I'm going to be going ahead and using sunflower oil because I like to cook with that. Now we're going to take that and one more liquid to add to that will be our vanilla, and we're going to put a nice teaspoon of vanilla in. And those are all your ingredients. Really amazing, right? I think that, well, they're not all the ingredients because we still got our blueberries to go. Blueberries go in at the very end. So here we go on that. We're going to take that and stir it around nicely. Oh yeah. And this is making quite the thick batter. So this is not the kind of batter that you just go ahead and pour into your cups or your squares in my case. Well, I guess rectangles in my case. But you do want to get it mixed around really nicely. And oh, I can tell you, these were just delicious. And she said to me, well, I usually have 2 for breakfast. And she has, you know, the smaller type of muffins. They're not like your the giant ones. And I go, okay. And she goes, and I usually put butter on mine. And I said, okay. And she happened to have some non-dairy butter, which is what I tend to use. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for that too. So I ate 2 of them, and and she said, well, I usually warm mine up a little. And I go, okay. Whatever she said, I was saying okay to. Lora is, like I said, she's one of our neighbors, and she is an outstanding cook. I gotta tell you, an outstanding cook. She had invited us over during the Christmas holiday time to make tamales. So it was really fun. It was really fun. Her family is from New Mexico, and we learned the authentic New Mexican way of making tamales. And when it came to chilies, they have their own chilies. Her family has their own chilies. So it wasn't like, I think I said, well, are these Hatch chilies? And she goes, Hatch? No, my family's chilies. I go, okay. All right, so you see what we have here? Shake of a lamb's tail, really. We've got our batter. And what I'm going to do is move these things out of the way so I don't make a bigger mess than I've already made on the floor. And I don't see Mitzi in sight here to help me clean that up either, where that girl dog is. All right, those over there. I've got my pan all ready. I've got my oven at 350. So this is what I've got. I have these guys. They're silicone. And I bought them for ice cream, actually, because I do these ice cream sandwich things. I think I said that at one of my, I can't remember. A while ago I showed you that. So anyway, here we go. We're going to take a scoop. Got my scooper here, and I'm going to scoop it into here. And then I'm going to take see how I've got those scooped into there? Just a scoop, and then I'm going to just go ahead and flatten them with what we call an inset spatula. And an inset spatula looks like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that till I get them all filled. Got those all filled now nicely. And again, it was my ice cream scooper. I don't know what size it is. It's one of those kind of large ones. Let me show you again so you can see it. About that size ice cream scooper or whatever you've got. And again, you don't need to have these. You don't need to have silicone anything. You can go ahead and just use your regular muffin tins. In that case, you're going to have to, grease and flour them. Again, recommending flouring them with gluten-free flour. Now I've got my kind of generous handful of blueberries. I'm just going to go ahead and push those into the top of each one of these. This is probably the most labor-intensive part of the whole deal. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that they're in so that they... And you can use frozen if you'd like. Feel free to use frozen, but do not thaw them first. When you try to bake with thawed blueberries, they become thawed mush. And so put in as many as you like. I mean, I like a lot of blueberries. And I was thinking when blueberries go out of season, I might go ahead, instead of blueberries, use raisins in these. For those of you who don't like raisins, then frozen blueberries will do the trick. But I kind of like raisins, so I'm good with that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. My oven, again, is at 350. And what we're going to do is cook these for about 45 minutes. And then use our cake tester to make sure that they come out clean on the crumb. Yeah, oof, these are good. I can't wait for breakfast. It's not nearly breakfast right now, unfortunately. It's the afternoon. But that doesn't mean I can't have it for dessert for dinner tonight. And remember I told you I had spilled some oats on the floor. Well, guess who came along and acted like a Hoover? Our pup, Miss Mitzi Ray. I look down, I go, there she is, and she's cleaning the floor, and I'm thinking, oof, thank God. Somebody had to do that, and it wasn't going to be me. Just kidding, I could have. All right, so I've got my blueberries pushed in there. See that? We're going to go ahead in our 350-degree oven. Going to go ahead and push those in there, on the middle rack. Timer on, 45 minutes. Oh, 50, 45 on the clock. And I'll catch you when they come out of the oven. Unless you want to stay on here for 45 minutes, which you can help yourself to do. But I'll probably be doing the dishes. Oh, well, maybe. See you in a bit. Alrighty, here we are. I'm going to come around the front here, I guess, to show y'all. These are the blueberry muffin bars. They're really beautiful. I have to say, I already tasted one. And they're just delicious. I got to save the rest for breakfast. I already delivered a couple across the street. I'm going to deliver a couple next door. And they're yummy. I hope you give them a try and let me know how they are. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube or follow me on Facebook. I would appreciate that. And have a great week out there. Go ahead and please do be joy in your own kitchen and enjoy the yum. Until next time.